Any other questions? Yeah, yes.
I don't know if you mentioned this already, but what happened with your tongue?
With what?
Your tongue. Do you put your tongue anywhere?
Your tongue.
The tongue?
Actually, it's very interesting. Usually when you come to the stage, my understanding, when you usually come to the state of even the limiter appear, what I want to say generally, when you're quite stable, your tongue automatically will just press against the palate. But still, when you learn meditation, we also ask you to press your tongue against the palate. It's just because for the reason also you want to wet your throat. You don't want your throat too dry, especially if you're going to sit for a long time, right? But I mean, somehow, if you are in a good meditation, when you finish, you look your tongue, even though you don't, it's not a requirement, but when you are on that stage, usually your tongue is just pressed against the palate already. So, I guess that was a reason. Of course, I don't know in the ancient time why we've been taught that when you start meditate, you press your tongue. We know one reason is for the throat. I suspect it's because they notice that already. Where every time when you meditate, all right. Normally, I don't mean everybody. This is not the way to judge you have jhana or whatnot. But generally, when you're okay, the tongue just somehow press against the palate, Yeah. So you could press, or you cannot press is fine. So because somehow it would do it automatically. Yeah. When you are normally when you have the side limiter up here, I can do it. It automatically would just be that way. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
How opaque is like the white color?
No, it's not. You must understand this way. The white color is not a perfect one. I wouldn't say perfect. It's not the stable one. So that's why usually if you still have the white color and soft, I guess one is because you are still struggling. Kind of struggle, you're not relaxed enough. Kind of like, you could say that fine hindrance, your focus is okay, but your fine hindrances is not really subdued well,
I just I see something that's like kind of opaque white.
Yeah, that's okay, that's good. Even sometimes actually, even the opaque white, if the opaque white stays long, this is we're talking about very detailed now. If the opaque white stays very long, you still can place your mind there sometime, but you will find not stable. After some time, if you place your mind on the opaque side, after some time, unless you know how to deal with a certain, actually I want to say that. Anyway, otherwise, if you place your opaque mind on the white one, the opaque one, it doesn't stay long, Best to stay that way.
I'm not changing anything I'm doing, but I just feel my whole brain is like more relaxed. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not only more relaxed, it's kind of like very alert. I don't know how to say it also. I mean, like more alert and more focused. But usually Buddhism always say it's because fine hindrances is getting less. Yeah, you're craving for sense desire, and when they are kind of like become reduced or less disturbing you, and then you just feel that way. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
What happens when you see faces? It's not the face. It's only the.
No, when you see faces, I mean, did you come here yesterday? Okay, but not the first day, right?
Yes, I did.
You did too.
Yeah, I came later.
I see. No. You see faces. I don't know. I mean. Okay, let's say if you do loving kindness, compassion, meditation, and so forth, you had a visualize face, you see face. The same, but let me answer the question in two ways. One, if you are doing a mindfulness of breathing, you're not supposed to see face. You have to still stick to the system, or the breath system. Okay. The same thing if you see face, if you do loving kindness meditation. When your loving kindness meditation, compassion meditation becomes stronger, more stable, the face will disappear. It will be replaced by the limiter, the same thing. So, But then, even now you see face, you know you are not doing the mindfulness of breathing now. You need to back to your breath meditation. Okay? It's nothing wrong, it's just you need to back to your breath meditation because you are not going to shift your subject of meditation. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Always asking questions. This side, the left side is always quiet. Never. Never have any question. I'm the one who's always notice people who are not asking questions. Maybe this is a very advanced stage, sit there, or the ship is not very balanced. But you know, sometimes you don't ask questions mean, you don't know how to ask, and then actually you are not very advanced also. I don't know. So you, know any other questions? Okay.
Let me just ask one.
Yes, okay.
I think I asked you yesterday. When you get into a state where you're in an empty state, okay? You just have the mindset. Mind here exists. What do you do at that time? Your body actually doesn't exist anymore. You only have the sense that you know you exist.
No, even when you do the mindfulness of breathing, let me just say.
You can still get into it. Today.
No, it's the same thing. Then the only you know the mind is there.
Like I try on the fourth stage, fixing, right? Just stay there, right? And of course, just everything.
But you know, if you are not place your mind on the limiter, that's why the verses say very clear. That the ancient saints say that you have to be able to have the mind on the limiter and use your mind to fasten your in-breath and out-breath. But normally some technique teach you not to do that. You just know your mind, you may be just doing a fixing, and then maybe even the limiter is over there. But you didn't learn, you can place your mind on the limiter. You just stay on that kind of state.
Limiter, you saying that you have some kind of shape happening.
I say no shape.
Oh, no shape. Okay, it won't. Okay, no shape.
No color.
Okay, so if you're in the empty sky.
No, in Buddhism I don't think you can be in empty sky. You just feel that you are in empty sky. No.
That means your body doesn't exist.
But that doesn't mean you are in empty sky. When you are first time when you have able to remove the five hindrances, in other words, mean you're only purely on a consciousness. You could have many interpretations of what you are. For example, in Indian religion, they were thought, because there's with the light already, and then they feel nice, they feel joy, right? Now in Indian languages, the joy is called nandi, mean chinsi. It's kind of like blessingly joy. So that's why in Indian religion, they would believe they are with the God, okay? This is all about interpretation. Okay, they believe that, so we are not going to argue with them that they are not with the God or not with the God, whatever. But to Indian religion, when you are in the jhana at that time, that means you stay with the God, the eternal light, the eternal blessing. Because of that emphasis, and then they always believe that then, because of course they always emphasize about the love. So with the emphasis of the love, not only they feel that they will expand it more further, like the love has to be bigger and wider. So it's a kind of combination of the loving kindness meditation with the focus technique. I don't know how to tell you, but I'm just saying that it's out of interpretation. So, but the Buddha always, that's why you must always understand. Don't make a conclusion, thinking that, then if you argue, some people say, let's say, I'm sure if there's any Hindu here, they may argue with me. That's me the God, so how can I talk now? Cannot talk. But the Buddha, that's why the Buddha always says it's a very good statement. This is how I learn. It's, you can say your experience, because actually we know what you're talking. But definitely, you may not agree what our interpretation is. But actually, in this state, definitely we share the same experience.
So what do you do?
No, that's why the Buddha says, don't say that I'm the one only right, you are the wrong one. I just want to tell you this means it's out of interpretation. Now, but my understanding, so that's why don't say it's because you are on, in.
I'm asking you, what do you do after that?
No, I said that already, you place your mind on the nimitta. Because if you don't place your mind on the nimitta, you stay there, you thought you are actually in space. No, it's just because you only aware your consciousness. Then if you want to aware your physical body, you still aware your physical body is there. That means you are not on the higher state of mean, because in meditation concentration you have the higher state called, for example, 空无边处. No, 空无边处 is not like that.
Also, can you quickly explain?
You must be able to in the 4 jhana and remove the nimitta. That's in you enter the 空无边处.
So even nimitta is not there.
Yeah, you need to remove that. But only when you're in the 4 jhana. So, and that definitely, if you can enter that 空无边处, usually you can sit for a whole day. So, yeah. Okay. Of course, if you want just to do the insight meditation, for example, some people, they have this, okay, let me just say this may be helpful a little bit. When you want to just do insight meditation, this is how I suspect what the Zen wanted to. I don't know, but this is my suspicion only. So you don't have to place your mind on the nimitta. You could just still stay like that. And then you start to observe your thought come in and go in. This is one another method. When the people start not doing jhana, but they will just start to stay that stage in order to start to do what we call the insight meditation. Even I know many have traditional different way of saying it. I mean, you observe your mind coming, going, and blah, blah, blah. But of course, you still need a teacher to teach you how, the trick. But that's why certain traditions do not want jhana. Okay, but now I'm here, I'm sorry, just to talk about jhana. Even though I don't always talk jhana. For example, I'm going to Malaysia to teach in March. That I will ask you not to go into jhana. I'm completely different because I'm teaching different thing. So, not that, there's no contradictory. It's just only a matter of, no, let me see, that your time. If you have time, I definitely ask you to do jhana. Or you do have time, no time, you do jhana. Anyway, many reasons. And we have only 3 days here. We cannot learn so many other things. So, I mean, this is enough for your whole life, I guess, even though you don't learn other things in the future. You don't believe, you know. As I say already, for Hindu, this is mean they are stay with the God already. So, and because, but do they say the right thing? I think somehow yes, because in Buddhism also believe when you have a jhana, or when you're in that kind of state, you're definitely linked to the heavens already. So when you were born, when you were about to die, you could use this mind to enter this same stage, the nimitta was there, and the nimitta will show you. It's different because when you're alive, it's unless you really, anyway, it's very hard to talk. You know, it's like in a different phase of life, you know, you have a different thing, and when the on verge of die, this is a universal law. When your mind is in that kind of purification, the sign will show you where you want to go. Of course, you can change it also. You say, I don't want to go there, then you change another thing. So that's all with the jhana. Because your jhana right now, even although Buddhism emphasis on now, you're happy now. Remember I just said the benefit of the learning concentration. So now, right now, you're happy now, but you actually, how to say, you are also actually, I forgot how to translate here. I mean, you also kind of learning, you're knowing that where you were born. Because right now, when you have a jhana, you connect to them already. So that's why in some way you could say they're saying something right. It's just only, you know, Buddhism do not believe in created God. We don't believe that. We only believe in different mental state you are, and then you can link to different type of heavens, different levels of heavens, you could say. So some way they say is right? They could argue this is with the God. Nothing wrong with that too. But only how they define the God is different, you know. So, okay. And, okay, all right. Are we going to have a lunch in 5 minutes time? Yeah? Okay. Any other people want to ask some question? To pacify, because I don't want to let you just to stick to the last 5 minutes. Yes?
I'll wait till the Q&A or later.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Any question that you thought you might be helpful for other people? Yes, please.
This is very basic though. When you talk about defilements or impurities, are they any attachments or say, for me personally, I'm dealing with grieving and my father just died. And so when I think about my father, when I'm focusing on breath, then I come back to breath. Is that defilement or impurity, or is it really like attachment, like I want to buy a new sweater or something like that? Is it really a base level attachment, or could you describe a little more defilements and impurities?
No, Buddhism, I think firstly, my understanding when you say impurities, you might be taking it as a kind of like you carry with the connotation of the sin. We don't believe in the sin. Okay, firstly, so we don't have the sense of understanding guilty. In Buddhism, guilty is a really bad thing. And if anything you've done in the wrong, even in the past, I mean, I'm saying, no, I don't mean, I mean you mean as a, you know, general term. I mean, when any person, when they've done something wrong in the past, of course, they need to feel ashamed and shy. That's how we translate. I mean, you must know that that's wrong, and then you need to correct yourself. But if that thought that what you have done in the past was wrong, and it become a kind of sadness to you, especially become sorrow, grief, despair. In Buddhism, actually, this is what we call dukkati, or in the original term. It means you are doing the wrong thing mentally. You are mentally doing the wrong thing, and in Buddhism, it's really bad thing, really bad thing. So in other words, the sense of guilty to Buddhism is a very bad thing. But you could feel, but there's a different. Hiri ottappa, original term. Hiri ottappa refer to, then everyone had to be really always learn how to correct ourselves. That I need to be better, right? That means hiri. Ottappa means I need to be correct myself, to be better, not just because I, it's because to other. For example, I may like to speak a language like, what the F? Blah, 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 you know, I feel okay. But then I don't want to speak to other because the other feel offended. For example, cultural reason, whatever, right? So, and that's called ottappa, mean you correct yourself not to speak that, even though you might be brought up, that's just, what is wrong? Just F word, that's it, right? You could argue that. But then you need to correct it yourself because not to let people feel uneasy and, you know, or maybe have a bad influence to them, so forth. So that's why that kind of the thing you are allowed to have, but no guilt. Okay. Now this clarify already about. So when you say impurity, we don't have that sense of impurity in such a sense, because Buddhism believe when you were born here already as earth, when you're born in the earth as here, you definitely will share the same thing. You love this, you love this, you love that, will share the same thing. Otherwise, you will not be here unless you're really exception. Okay, unless. Now, that's one thing. Second, when we say the desire, we are talking about there's no way, basically in Buddhist understanding, that those desires has to be removed that you're on this stage, right? Now, do remember, when you're on this stage, you definitely, when you check, you don't have this kind of idea. You don't have this, I want to looking for, like, I'm sure that like you are, if you have a site, you will not thinking that, oh, this seat is not good. Maybe you still don't like the seat, but you don't have that kind of like, I don't like it. No, you don't. You just, maybe, okay. So what do you mean by desire? You could thinking, okay, next time, I will just get my own seat here. Do you call that a desire? Yes, but that's another sense of what we are talking about, you know. But that desire, necessarily bad? Not necessarily bad, okay. Okay, maybe best to say this. In Buddhism, the term desire have many terms also. Okay, one, the desire is the desire, the lust for the sexuality, right? It's another term. One, the term a desire for, I want to do something. I want to finish my job. I want to achieve my ambition. That's another term. Usually this term doesn't carry any strong sense, good or bad. Okay? The same thing even for people lust for desire. Even though in Buddhism, in a very advanced stage, like when you're really thinking that you want to reborn, say that, born in a very, very advanced heavens, that heavens only have one body. They don't have sexuality action there. And there are lots of heavens have a sexuality action there. So then, I want to say this mean, so then that term desire, whether it's good or bad as a sexuality, it also depends, basically depends what you want, right? Unless you are, because of desire for sexuality, unless you're harming the other people or harming yourself. Otherwise, Buddhism never say that there was like strict answer like, no, that was bad. No, we don't have that. Okay, good, man. Okay. And then we have other term for desire too. Other term for desire like tanha is a term that it's the one that is become like fundamentally is there. It's kind of like you have to always have the root there already. So that root will give rise to your other possibility of desire arises. Okay? And of course, another desire, the tanha refer actually mainly the root of what? The tanha, the root for your desire for existence and desire for non-existence, and then desire for being exist. Or, I'm sorry, Kama Dhamma, Bhava Dhamma, Abhava Dhamma, desire for what I call that exists on the pleasure place. So that's the root one. But now we are not talking that. Because when you have a jhana, you cannot remove this thing. So jhana is just a mental kind of state. You're able to kind of like jhana is kind of like if there's a cup of water, right? You are kind of like, you're able to you are not remove, you are able to let, that's why we use a word called subdued. You are able to let the participants on the cup of water, like, precipitate, so the, in the water, sink, like settle down or sink. When it sinks, then you can see a really clear water over there. But then your participates, I think, I forgot how to say. You don't know what I mean by sediment? Sediment. Yeah, sediment. The sediments, and then will still stays. Okay. This is the reason why the anyway. This is also why the very different from Buddhist perspective to Hindu. The Buddhist perspective think that even though your jhana is so powerful, but this is not solved. You are not solving. You are still not solving this problem. But the Hindu thing, no, this is there. I mean, that's how the Buddhism and even though we have a shared same meditation, even maybe sometime we share some terms too. Anyway, I don't want to delve with that too much. So we actually have, because how they carry is they always believe there was a creator God and sort of thought, so they need to rest. Anyway, please remember, Buddhism don't have this purification. Well, when I say impurity, understand as a sin. We don't have that kind of understanding. Okay. Did I answer your question? Mm-hmm. I speak very long, so that more than 5 minutes so for your lunch. So sorry about that. All right, enjoy your lunch, and please remember whenever we start at 1 o'clock, right? And please remember, take the most use of it because we have few hours go, and they will say bye-bye. And make the most use of it. And when you have the lunch, if you have a time, take a little rest, and then you could rest or do your meditation, also by resting too. Okay, I will see you later. Okay.